So you said it's a defeat that felt good for Juve, and I know what you're going to say because of the kids, because of even some of the way they played. However, this is a Juve team now for the first time in its history. Only I think the second time in Italian football history after Roma, maybe in 03 04 or something, that we go 5 defeats out of 6 in a group stage match. I think Juve had 5 defeats in the Champions League 02 03, but there was 2 group stages and they still went to the semi-final. 1 win in 6 and 5 defeats in a group like that. I'm sorry, this is humiliating.
02 03, they actually got to the final and lost to the final on penalties at Old Trafford.
Of course, I
was there.
Dreadful.
Sure, if you take the Juve's group stage as a whole, it's a complete unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
But what I liked about this game is that we saw kids.
Yeah.
And we would have seen more kids in this game, right? We Fagioli, Mr. Beans.
Mr. Bean?
He gets a start. Miretti starts. Now, Sule would have started. Sule I think came on. Ealing Jr. would have definitely started.
Gatti started.
Had he been fit. What?
Gatti started. Yeah.
Gatti, by the way, is one of those guys who's young because Italy's a magical country where you're young until you're 25. He's actually 24 years old.
Yeah,
right?
but still youngish.
His name means cats, so we like him. To have the courage to do that and to not get blown away by Paris Saint-Germain without Neymar, but it was still a strong Paris Saint-Germain lineup that was out there, right? So I think this is good. Juventus had 11 players missing through injury, plus Danilo out through suspension. Plus they're not good. Plus they had nothing to play for.
And they have Allegri as a coach.
They have this version of Allegri. Oh, and of course they're playing Inter at the weekend, right?
So you could think it was in the back of the mind.
Old Juve would have played a bunch of scrubs, Carlo Pinsoglio in goal and stuff like that. Maybe Carlo Pinsoglio at center forward to save Milik. And they would have sucked. Or they would have played the starters and they just would have stood around and not run at all and laughed at the fact that they were losing, right? Because they had nothing to play for. But instead, we saw the kids out there. And I don't know that a light bulb's gone off in Max's head.
I think it's because he didn't have the choice. Really, you saw the bench. There was 2 goalkeepers, 2 more youngsters, Rugani, and then can't remember and that was it. Really.
Okay, maybe it's that, but maybe Max won't be convinced. Maybe Andrea Agnelli will be convinced. Maybe the Agnelli family will be convinced. And if you're going to suck. And you will suck because you made stupid signings. You signed Di Maria, who would rather be elsewhere. I mean, somebody said this on television, right? If I offer somebody a 2-year contract and he says, no, I only want a 1-year contract, and there's a World Cup in the middle of the year, you kick him on his backside. And you say, hey, Angel, go fly up in heaven, right? Or wherever it is you feel you belong. You do not belong here.
No, you're right. For the kids, and the biggest paradox is, for the people who don't know, but the Juve reserve team plays in Serie C, which they were given the opportunity for the clubs. You can have a team there. It costs you a lot of money because you are almost to manage it like a normal professional team, just another one. But Juve went for it to get those kids in that they Italian kids, but also like Ealing Jr. kids that they went and coached at Chelsea, Sule, Vélez and all that kind of stuff. So they clearly invested a lot of money, resources, time, everything. So then if you don't play them and you hire a manager in Max Allegri, who we know is not too keen on kids and youth, it's a bit like, well, I think you started well. The idea was good to have that team in Serie C. And then what's the point then?
Juve are the only... So they did some stupid thing Serie A did a few years ago where they said, oh, look, the reason we're bad is in European competitions is that we don't produce everybody else has competitive B teams, which by the way, not true. I mean, Spain has them, sure, but who else has them?
Certainly not England.
Certainly not England. Certainly not. In Germany, they're amateurs, and I think they're playing the 4th division or whatever. I think France has them too, but they play even further down.
4th and
right?
5th division for us.
So
but at least you play against adults, not like in England where you just play against your people your age.
So, I mean, I'm against the principle. I don't think the super clubs need any more favors. But whatever. But Juve did it. They campaigned for it. They put their money where their mouth is. Other clubs campaigned for it and they said, no, it costs too much money. We don't want to do it. But it's great they see these kids. I agree with you. And hopefully it'll stick. Hopefully it'll also change the mentality a little bit of... There's a certain type of Juve fan that I think the club listens to way too much, the ones who are like, we just care about winning. We don't care how we win. Oh, no. Look, you put a youngster in. You're an idiot. Oh, no, give me Di Maria, right? Yeah. Look, I'm not having a go at Juve fans as a result. There's a certain type of Juve fan who I think isn't even a football fan. I think they're the people who are just be happy looking at live score and seeing that they won. I don't even think they like football, right? But I think there are enough Juve fans who pay attention to what goes out there and says, hey, why don't we produce kids? Why don't we do something about this? So that's a positive there. A word on Maccabi, obviously overmatched. This is a really, really tough group when it came out.
It is. And they did well, to be fair, for themselves.
In the second half, though, when they just could not clear the ball, it felt, and I'm not having a go at them. I am kind of. Were they just trying to play out from the back or whatever? Like, it looked like they just boot the ball. Right?
It looked like all the energy that they might have given through the first weeks of the season. It was just like, we can't run anymore. We can't pass the ball. They lost their head, their shape, everything. But again, I think Benfica was going for it, really, really good. Roger Schmidt made some good changes, but I think they for their return in the Champions League, I think they made themselves, and they're incredible fans, because those fans and that stadium was really, really buzzing. Really proud.
No, absolutely. And they finished level on points with Juve. Let's not forget.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.